here, because as much as things look good at the beginning of the series, the truth is ZETA is 13 rounds away from being sent home.
Yeah, exactly. And let's take a look at the comps right here as well. It's the same old classic thing that we just saw yesterday for ZETA with Laz on the chamber, and as well the same thing from NIP against DRX that we already saw. Both of these teams played against DRX, and the result was very similar. 13-2 for ZETA and 13-4 for NIP.
Now, if something seems missing on your screens, folks, there is a slight data issue going on with the HUD right now. So instead of pausing and delaying, we decided we just want to watch some VALORANT, right? We're just going to cast some VALORANT, so we are going to go on without it. NIP starting off on the attack. You see they want to turn their attention towards A, and the hit's coming in fast.
That's big. And already getting some value, though, from NIP with John with the Rain of Flash. Sam gets so advanced. Laz looking for more with the shortiest chamber. That's ridiculous.
Oh, it's just Sugar Zero, and he finds the perfect timing with the classic. He's still so healthy, too. 25 armor to him. Kawanzine. The onus is on him. He has a minute. He has all the time in the world to think this one through, but instead he decides he gives the shoulder, and the shot's out from Sugar Zero. The Red Bull clutch at the 1v1 at the end to clean things up. Whew. I'm getting closer than that.
Yeah. I mean, he had all the time in the world, but the problem was he also had to retrieve the spike, too. So wants to clear backside before he goes for it.
Sure.
And if he could have gotten that, maybe there's a chance there, but he's just holding the right angle. I'm surprised as well, though. The patience from Sugar Zero, the fact that he's not scared about his right at all. That is cold. That's cold right there.
See here, it does not look like NIP are forcing up very much at all, so there should be an advantage for ZETA, and if there wasn't one before, there is now.
Yeah. Shan gets shut down immediately. And Depp is back on the jet. We saw him sage hopping a little bit last time, but immediately pulling out the Marshall tells you what we're going to see this game.
Yeah, if that's an indicator of what's to come, I'm excited.
And there's a possibility even with Laz to double up if he gets his tour de force online.
Little liquid vibes here.
John is advanced. That means 10's in trouble, but he doesn't go down. He doesn't fall. Well, he spoke too soon.
Yeah, you jinxed him, mate. Depp with the updraft. Not able to land any shots. My goodness, bullets flying all over the place.
I love how he actually advances forward and takes the space, though, but the drone! Sugar Zero's there to cover.
He was so weak. He was so weak anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it was a scary moment, though, that potentially they could find something, because he might have been able to pick up a Spectre. I mean, they're swinging out of heaven anyways, though, so all good. 2-0. And the Marshall from NIP didn't find much at all.
And we'll take a look at that one more time. Yeah, I mean, and that's the kind of thing, Bala, that I think is important as we think through like win conditions and what ZETA have to do to get back into this thing. It has to be sparks like that, right? Like if that's what it takes to get back into this thing, then so be it. But it's got to be off of big shots like that. It's got to be off of finding openings that you need and winning the things that you should win, right? Like the advantage that they had on guns just proved to be too much at the end of the day as we enter the third round. Depp still with that Marshall. Hit his first shot. We'll just ignore those two.
Oh, no. He gets away, though, but will he pass? Yeah, crosses the entire time. And now John is really advanced, but do we expect Laz? This is something that they were doing over and over, swapping out one player, and then Laz, even if he gets in trouble, can TP away, but that dart.
Yeah, but even that was key, right? Because it only tagged Laz. It didn't tag 10.
He's heard the TP away, so they won't re-clear, especially after hearing the Marshall, and he will actually punish two kills.
He gets two, and Laz gets one to boot. There's just one left. It's B&J who's waiting to see if a flank was coming. Something in from A never came. B&J in a pretty brutal position here. But of course, there's no time like the present. No reason not to go for it, I guess.
Sugar Zero's on the flank, though. Yeah, he's trying to save and actually does the right thing. Puts up his Viper wall. Nobody's going to walk on over it past that one.
Left.
And looks in this direction. So he should escape with the Vandal. 25 seconds left. And I think this is actually kind of, it would be massive if he had a Hero Vandal in the next round.
Yeah, in the same breath, I'm actually kind of surprised that we're not seeing ZETA push this a little bit.
10 seconds left.
Especially now that they know where he is.
Yeah, it's an interesting one too because I mean, you just want a bonus basically, right? So you don't want to lose any other weapons so that you could bonus again in rounds that are coming up. And now they also clean up and get all the weapons that NIP just invested into that too. So full strength. They don't really care. I mean, the rest of NIP is going to have low eco. They didn't get the spike down. And remember, that setup that they had at back of yellow, from the beginning of the round, it was actually Depp who dashed away with his Marshall, set up Laz, who then set up 10. So many layers here on IceBox, and exactly the same thing we were seeing against Fnatic. That worked out so well. That made Laz start to really gain significant momentum.
That's a good spot.
The ace from the exact same position that he's in right now really shifted the balance of that game.
NIP pushing things B. You hear the Blade Storm came out early on. Oh my goodness.
He's high.
Yes, he is. Doesn't spot anyone, though.
Yeah, not even a shoulder. Not even a utility shot out. And now they're actually pushing back with a couple shock darts. And the plant can't go down.
We'll see how much delay becomes a factor here. As John's already fallen, and I guess you delay by just killing the opposing team. ZETA managed to find 2 big kills here early on.
I mean, he must not have a wall. That's the reason why they're struggling so hard to go for this.
Yeah.
Not even something where he puts it up and they end up having the same situation anyways. No, he did actually put it on the wall. That just got broken instantly. Depp finds one through the wall as well. And clean again. 4 players remain for ZETA Division, as NIP completely barrel onto this B site twice in a row. What else can they find? I mean, they need to start getting this Reyna some value. Every time they pick this position, every time they pick this composition, everybody's criticizing the Reyna pick, and for good reason. How do you find space with Reyna? What else is it going to provide for you as well? Or is there any flank watching abilities that it does that you can see? Outside of the Reyna, the only difference in this comp is Laz on his chamber.
Saw Depp with an operator to kick off the round. We were talking about him and his opping previously. Marshall, now he's been able to upgrade to the big boy. We'll see if he finds any value with it. Also has the Blade Storm in his back pocket in case things get a little dicey. But a quiet round early on from NIP.
I really like the setup that Laz has. If you take your eyes to the minimap over towards B at the back of yellow again, he's got the TP he can play off of, but he's also got the alarm bot to cover the other side of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's completely happy to play this wide off angle.
Oh, what a shot, but he dashes forward. Cloudburst decides to throw it in reverse and get away.
Same mistake that we saw 2 rounds ago as well. Definitely some nerves here in this game.
Fortunately, this time he preserves his life. But NIP start to knock. They start to push forward.
30 seconds left.
And it's going to be on ZETA. Shock Dart, Molly, all come in a bit late. It's going to have to be on them to fight for the retake.
Nice slow to actually hold off Depp for the time being. And 3 players towards screen, so Depp has to hold this angle. Meanwhile, NIP, some players really far back, and as that pick comes in too, that's going to put so much more pressure on the Sova to get back in time.
Only 2 left for NIP, and that might be enough. A 1v2, 57 HP. I don't know that they know where he is, but the operator that we highlighted at the beginning of the round proves to be the saving grace for ZETA, as once again, 5 rounds in a row.
Yeah, and this man was playing Sage last map. He gets up on top of that box. For Vandal to actually flick towards that position against an op is so difficult. So good awareness from him. Good angle generation. Just made up a new term.
Angle generation. I like that.
No, that's terrible. Don't.
No?
No, that's terrible. It's just an angle.
But you generate the angle.
Oh, okay.
ZETA with an excellent start here. I mean, again, given the fact that they're facing elimination, for them to come out of the gates in such a good way. Depp leading things off at 9-1. Laz is having himself a day 2. It doesn't. You can't ask for a whole lot more if you're ZETA, right?
Sure.
Like, fight back here. This is great.
Yeah. Absolutely, and the thing is too that they've shut down a lot of different looks from NIP. The A looks that we just saw with the gun round, and then a couple of B looks too. Now NIP is scratching their head. I mean, neither side is working.
Yeah.
They could switch things up and do things differently, but like I was saying on Split, there wasn't that many different. Actually, almost finds a tag on the leg. Actually, he did.
Yeah, I think he did.
He definitely did.
Here.
See the light buyout from NIP, just specters across the board if I'm not mistaken, so not much to work with here. You understand now that there's a lot of pressure mid from the Tour de Force. Have no idea where Depp is at this point, but you have to assume he's got an operator, right? You're just kind of trying to figure out where at this point.
Every time they do anything, there's a slow that comes out, and that poison orb too, delaying them quite a lot. Sugar Zero just playing back though, and they're gonna plant top site and get a pit down.
That's massive. Sugar Zero, yes, he finds value right at the end, but the pit has still gone up. Sugar Zero still back. They're finding a second. Now the challenge comes out from NIP.
Fourth.
1 HP he falls. The pit was a bit too much for him to deal with. And the operator up close. I believe Depp has, it was like 13 kills at this one, 12 kills. Maybe I'm giving him a couple extra here. But the guy's been such a problem, a 6-0 lead.
Yeah. I think you're actually underselling. I think he might have 14 either way. That was gorgeous, the way that ZETA actually retook there. And we'll see the couple shots that Sugar Zero had, because there's the first one here. That was easy. The second one through the smoke onto John, takes out both duelists, and then follows up and takes out the opposing Viper. That shot ridiculous as well. But look at the Sage Wall that comes out from ZETA Division, from 10. It gives him the room to walk past and just go past Maze, go on top of 410, go on top of the rope as well. Otherwise, that wouldn't have been possible because he would have had players holding that angle. Though, definitely a favorite towards the other side. Oh. So that, I think, was actually intended to be a fake dash. But I'm not sold on that idea because nobody's there to actually hear it.
Sure. Uh-oh, got some trouble. Tag dashes away. The second one hits. Does the third? Yeah, he does. Depp tried going up top. You're right.
And there's no tour de force this time from Laz.
NIP established back yellow control as they try to find a round on the board.
Sugar Zero is here though, and he has the Viper's Pit. If they end up getting the spike down, he can always respond for that.
Oh my gosh. Yep. That certainly works. That's one way to do things. Tagged up, not able to convert on the third as the clip runs dry. The res comes back up as you bring Crow back into the fold.
Oh, he got out of that. Thought he was going to die for sure.
Still at a disadvantage numbers-wise, it is. As the spike ticks.
Last player standing.
Yeah, it just went from bad to worse. 10's gonna have to find a way into this thing. Do they? Yeah, they have no idea where he is. And he doesn't have any time.
Or utility. Or actually, 2 left. Still no time though. Make him sweat a little.
Yeah, an attempt was made.
Yeah. And if he's like, oh, hold on a second. Well, that's the way that he played that. I mean, we always talk about minor things that end up eventually shifting, like advantages in economy, for example. In that round, sure, he didn't get the win. ZETA did not win the round, but he got the 2 kills at the end there. Economically, that's definitely going to hurt NIP. because that's their first round win. And now an opportunity for them to reset too. So look at this. Knives from Zan. And only 3 players who are carrying any sort of economy into this. Actually, only 2.
Get out of my way.
But still a gun round. And they will explore mid once again. The Knives in the updraft to actually find anybody. That's Laz he's looking for. But he won't poke his head out. Because once again, he's playing behind the box to peek off the trademark this time.
There.
This interesting Viper's wall out from ZETA too, just adding an additional layer of cover. Furback yellow. It seems like NIP want to push mid and they want to push A, and John may have just found the exact timing that he was looking for, man. But he's not expecting the third up top. Has to dismiss. Ultimately falls. And the Cloudbird's not going to get, or excuse me, the Bladestorm's not going to get anything going there either.
And just one adjustment there. They keep putting a little bit of pressure on mid at the beginning of the round. This time, actually full pressure as John walks all the way up bravely. And all of a sudden, ZETA doesn't have the materials required to hold on the site.
Tennis, a snap to try to land the shots.
Last player standing.
And he ultimately falls. Nope, Sugar Zero's not going to do it either. As Kawanzin gets 3 at the end of the round to clean things up. NIP, you mentioned they've made minor adjustments. It's all come through mid. Yeah. And I believe it was at the break that you said, give me some mid presence, right? Yeah. Give me a little something there.
After they got their economy under control.
Yeah.
And this was huge from John.
Yep.
Because this round, very important. When you talk about the comeback that ZETA made in the last game at the beginning of in the first half, I should say. It was them finding a read on the game. So there, if John starts to find something, some gaps, some lurks off, and again, they're pressuring it. So you can see that's exactly what NIP is thinking. Now, ZETA has responded, though, and they put Laz here. And they put a deep alarm bot, but it's just a fast wall. The classic strat, and they're going to updraft inside of Nest 2 to plant. Now, do they have the same post plant that DRX has shown us over and over, or are they trying to control?
Nice opener out from Laz with the headhunter.
I think they do.
Look at the hunting out from B&J, though, to expect the presence. He does. He expected, he knew it was there, but Sugar Zero wins out the duel. And now there's another layer looking at the Sova. Kawanzin also falls, the next victim at the hands of Sugar Zero. John, finally.
Res after res.
Yeah. Got him all over the place.
There's nobody there to defuse.
1, 2. Yeah, I don't know how they do this. I don't know how they do this. He finally gets up on top, but the operator from depth saves, gets the kill. But you're right, there's no time.
This man just 1v5'd. BZN comes out of nowhere. They control everything in the middle there as the time goes down, as they're finding and rooting out the players inside of Tube. BZN, the huge Red Bull clutch.
Oh, what a ratty plant spot too, man.
Dude, this is insane. There's just nobody actually pushing up. Yeah. You see how Depp's running desperately to get up there. He just 1v5'd the entire team. And that is a momentum swinging round. Even though he didn't get the last kill, ZETA's got to be scratching their head right now.
Deploying drone.
And there's a lot. Look, Laz has actually used all of its trademarks in mid this time. And you can see ZETA's definitely wondering, oh, is there going to be a flank? Right. No, not this round. So just having that little pressure has changed the game completely for NIP.
NIP managing to get the spike down again. And they have full control of the situation here. You even have Kawanzin playing far off, waiting for the flank. Presumably has some lineups to work with too. Oh, never mind. Does he just drop one of those shock darts mid?
Ooh, getting ahead of yourself there. That finds it.
10 was on the tap. 4v4. His kills go back and forth. It's actually ZETA who finds a lead. Now Kawanzin pushing forward. 10
spike.
Holding it. B&J with a chance to be the hero again, but it's not happening this time. ZETA gets a 7.
Interesting plant idea there from NIP. And it almost works out, but ZETA has that counter wall that they've been using that actually is perfect for that situation. The way that spike is so far advanced, really it's in their territory. It almost seems like it's planted for a mid flank to eventually come, but not that round.
attacker op this time out from Jan.
Yeah. Looks like he might want to updraft fast on to Bell.
Yeah, see if you can spot anyone.
No, he's just watching the mid peak actually.
Scanning ahead.
Yeah, and ain't nothing doing. You heard the tour de force online through, and then if you didn't, you're watching it now. And this is angle that I initially thought Jan was going to be challenging, to be honest.
I think based on the economy of ZETA, NIP's actually, or just based off the rest of the, oh, that could have been a haircut. They're just expecting a little bit of aggression from ZETA because it hasn't been shown at all. And eventually,
Here.
that type of strat does get pulled out late in the games, unexpectedly. But no, it's just quiet, and it might feel like nothing is happening right now. But ZETA has rotated everybody except for Sugar Zero towards this A site.
The interesting thing, it was all off of the ponytail that was seen. But they stay! NIP push into it anyway! Spike's still not even past 410 at this point, but it may not matter as NIP finds what they're looking for. 10 trying to spam through as Core 9 has the Hunter's Fury. He managed to get one tag. I don't know that he's got very much more.
Oh, he got into Jen.
They're just so far committed at this point. I don't think that they can bail out, but they haven't cleared 10.
And the dart was perfect to support Sugar Zero with the spam too. 14 seconds.
10 pushing in the smoke. That's as easy as it gets, man.
I don't know if that was easy. That was a little bit of luck for 10 to actually cross in that angle because everybody stopped peeking at that exact moment for NIP. And the trade was good for them too in that initial engagement. And even the shot from Laz. This is Zan later on taking down Laz, which we didn't see. This is what I'm talking about though. Look, the Viper Orb comes back in time, that Sugar Zero, who's honestly always playing off of this A site. So safe to continue to play with that. And then it comes up after he crosses. Without the information that he's back there, nobody clears. And the dart comes in at the same time too.
Double op defensive setup out from ZETA here. One of those in the hands of Laz, starting to rotate to B. He's not playing back yellow this time around. Could have sworn he had an op at the beginning. I apologize. I may have lied to all of you.
There's a big flank coming, and I think Kawanzin actually wants to use his ults. No, he's looking at it. There's two players here, though, both Det and 10.
And I mean, how can he check both? I don't know that there's a way for him to check both.
Yeah, but will 10 check?
Oh, the timing. Oh, he spotted the gun barrel!
Perfect.
The Spectre cleans it up. Tap still has that op, and he's automatic with it.
There's the Viper's Pit to retake, too, even though they cleaned up the flank. This is getting dire for NIP. The res comes back, though. And they really need this round.
You see that ult through the tag. Sugar Zero boldly holds his nerve and swings out. Ultimately falls Laz, the hero, for ZETA in a chance, in a position to do it again, but he doesn't have a ton of health. He doesn't have a ton of time. He doesn't have a ton of bullets, and he has way too many targets on the screen to deal with. Kawanzin with 3 at the end there to get them the round. An 8-4 a lead still for ZETA, but much closer than it seemed like it was going to be at the beginning of things.
Yeah, that was that round specifically a little crazy there. Kawanzin comes up with a res and has the Hunter's Fury to delay. That is special right there from NIP, and they clap back a little bit.
1 half in the books on IceBox. We're going to throw it down to the desk to break down what they saw. Jackie, take it away.
Doug and Bala, it ain't over yet, but ZETA, oh my goodness, looking so sharp. And usually we are hyping up Laz, but my goodness, Depp.
Yeah.
Stepping up huge, Josh.
I said that was the player that could have the largest improvement, and this is why. Here's him on the right in the tournament so far, and his averages. This is what he's currently doing in this map. He has more than a kill per round currently. He's 14 and 6. Look at the tournament so far is across a whole map. This is 1 half on the left.
Look down to the bottom left, 0 assists. You want to know why the man has 0 assists? Because the man don't miss. He don't leave any assists. He just absolutely finishes them.
Oh my God, I love it.
I mean, he has been really lights out. And so much of how NIP win comes down to getting those kills. They have a really basic composition. It's not about, you know, crazy strats or denying the plant or something like that. If you're able to just out-frag Jandy and John in particular struggling in this game, then you're going to be able to deliver the victories. And even though NIP recovered a bit, great score.
Oh, Oh, I'm loving that we're getting a bit of B-roll of this. I mean, whilst these plays and you guys just enjoy the depth show here a little bit with the Marshall, I want to highlight that, you know, Reyna, he is the only Reyna player in the entire tournament thus far. It's a very selfish agent, 9 times out of 10. You don't get a lot of teamwork with it, and if you take it, you have to have impact.
And there he goes.
Yep, and as Josh has pointed out, rightfully so, has Josh had the impact? Or Josh, has John had the impact? Josh,
you've had the
impact on the desk.
You're killing it in
But
there.
John hasn't, and that's going to be the downfall of Nip if they can't pick it up.
Well, I want to talk about Nip a little bit more because they looked fantastic on map 1, and then I was like, are they awake? Like, what's happening here, Josh?
There's still time to turn this around. They did recover a little bit in the second portion, the second quarter, but ZETA are looking really comfortable right now. Going to be hard to knock them off their game.
Okay, well, we are ready to get into this next map. So let's see if Doug and Ball are ready. We're going to hand it over to y'all.
Thank you, Jackie. We are indeed ready, at least I think we're ready. Are we ready? Ball, you ready?
Absolutely. Look,
Yeah.
ZETA is on the verge of taking it to a map number 3. And that's probably going to be the most interesting map of all. Because Split was one-sided, and this one looking one-sided as well, though NIP finding a little bit of fight. And they are grouping, so this is another big fight coming in towards mid, Doug.
It's all going to be timing, right? If they can get into A.
Backing off,
Yeah.
giving it up. The alarm bot there, the trademark from Laz.
It's all going to be on NIP to fight back for the retake.
They've rotated back to the B lane. Look how late Shand and John are.
Yeah, man, they're taking the scenic route,
And it's planted up towards Nest too, so you know post-plant is coming in.
right? It's going to have a hard time spamming in through mid. They just have to push, right? They just have to fight. They don't have very many options. There it is. They all swing out at the same time. Dev gets peppered, but now without taking one with him, eventually falls. This kill's going in favor of ZETA for now. Crow with some nice shots to stay alive. And look at the Molly setups. They've got depth to this, man. There's really no way for Jan to get in. Yeah, there's almost no way at all. Maybe one kill.
3 bullets. 3 bullets on IceBox. Nope.
Last player standing.
Yep, and that's a pistol round win. We saw the same thing on Split, right? It's the team that was in the lead ended up winning pistol round and carried the momentum all the way through.
Yep.
A good half.
Yeah.
Might end up being a good map.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Was that as much poor play by NAP on the long rotation? Do you think it was a timing
Yes.
thing? Or
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, you have to be expecting the trademarks. Even on a pistol round, that might
Sure.
be a little bit of a gimmick, and that's okay to go for gimmicks on pistol round. I mean, we've seen so many, even the last series as well. That's fine, but you have to be ready for the basic things that come out of a regular round, and that's trademarks when you're playing against a chamber.
Another early gamble out from NIP. In the previous round, it was mid. This time, it's B.
And it looks like desperation, Doug.
Yeah.
It really does. It's an eco round again, but
Yeah. See, they have nothing to work with for guns.
yeah, John's left all by himself. They're getting the plant down easily. Little gap in the wall.
Teleport's ready.
But there's nobody there. And this could be another slaughter.
Once again, they all show up.
Wait, they've given up a lot of space, actually. I thought they were going to continue to challenge. John on top.
Maybe another lineup thing if it gets to that point, but that doesn't seem to be the case. You see the 2 remaining members make that one now. Out from NIP, so weak.
It's whack-a-mole. We're at the fair.
So ZETA get to 10, win the pistol, win the next round. Now should be in a bonus situation. If you're NIP, you're realizing that you don't have a ton of time left. And even with that, you take a look at their buy.
Yep.
Light armor on 3 of their members.
Big bonus opportunity for ZETA, honestly, to close out the game.
Yeah, certainly seems inevitable at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if NIP continue to play the stacky plays that they've been going for. But no, looks like ZETA's going to set up to deny a little bit of orb control. But Shand, who usually is the player who's going to go for that because he has a little safety measure, is on the other side of the map. That dart got a lot of information in mid. And remember the themes we talked about in the first half. You're not pressuring mid, then you can cheat a little bit more towards the other sides.
Sure.
And Nip took great advantage of that in the first half until their mid split. Well, it actually worked, the one where they planted Nest. But strategically it didn't, I'd say. but they need a hero like BZN. Again.
They need something. It's another 5-stack A. Perhaps it's John.
A.
Perhaps John's the hero.
Is he the hero?
Takes a good bit of damage there. The Leer out.
It's always defensively, always to escape with those Leers.
Yeah.
And that was a problem in their game against DRX, was John, especially on defense, was in the back of A, consistently trying to use the Leer to cross or something like that rather than, and I guess it's kind of hard to find situations where you could use it aggressively on this map, especially given the rest of the comp doesn't complement. There's no stuns, there's no extra flashes, anything like that. Ooh, dab. They just spotted him. No, knifes out.
Oh dear.
12 seconds though.
Yeah, I don't foresee time being an issue here.
This man's just running, gunning. Love it. Do it again. 3 players this time, Colin. You're in for a world of hurt, man. There's 3 people running at you with a Spectre. What can you do? Nothing.
It's just been so clean out from ZETA, and I think the question that the desk was asking was, which ZETA are we going to get, right? Are we going to get DRX ZETA? Are we going to get Fnatic ZETA? And I want to be careful about that comparison because obviously DRX and Fnatic, at least in this tournament, were in such different forms that you can't effectively compare those two. But with that said, ZETA certainly seem drilled. They have a plan. They've had a plan coming into this map, and they've been executing it almost perfection.
Yeah, I think those comparisons are valid, though. I mean, it's the only cross-regional competition we get, so you use them when you can, you know? And both teams at this point played both teams that the other team played, so...
Yeah.
That said, transitive property, hey, it kind of applies. Kind of. Though on IceBox,
there's only
NIP
one round.
got a couple more rounds against DRX than... And I say a couple, but it was only 2. I think that was the one map where I saw, and I was just like, because the Reyna pick, okay, we say all the things we say about it, but for a team like NIP, we're on IceBox, they're actually a good team on this map. It might not look like that in the scoreboard right now, but they really are. In Brazil, they went 7-1 on this map this year. So that's why you see them pick it in situations like the game against DRX, like this game right now. The problem is, you saw gaps. And I guess the regional metas, the way that Brazil plays IceBox, not matching up at all to the APAC region.
Slow and steady start from ZETA here in this round is, my goodness, they haven't even really left spawn.
It's looking like split again.
And that has been a trend from ZETA that we've observed throughout the entire tournament. They like to wait.
Drone through, they clear the angles. They've got to get some mollies down here. They've got the orb as well to delay. Wall goes up, they break it immediately. Only 20 seconds left. And BNJ finds the spike. Somebody else has to jump on it. This might be a round where NIP hold on for a long time.
John can find a kill here too. That certainly helps. 13 seconds left. We were talking about how they like to wait, and patience may have been their downfall there.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation when you've not drawn out any utility for the entirety of the round, that's a situation where you want to go aggressive, right? You want to maybe try to find the picks. But ZETA opts to try to get the wall down, and here's the kill through the wall. Yep.
I think he was standing on a molly too. Makes it a little bit easier on him.
So much utility too, landing at the same time from Kalanzine, who's way off in Narnia. As Sova. Here we go. One player top pipes, and the other watching the belt angle too. This is the type of aggressiveness that I think will end up bringing NIP back in the game. They just got to be careful, like Sand just was.
Cloudburst in his face as you hear the Empress comes online, and she instantly gets decrowned.
What boldness from Death. And he pays for it eventually, but ZETA claps back, Laz with another.
Here.
Poor guy just got healed. Has that Blade Storm and the Phantom with 2 big ones.
Yep.
10 in this 1v1. He still has some armor. Surely he's not in a position to get a res up, right? 1v3 perhaps uses it as bait.
There's bodies way far back, especially now that the wall's been put up, but you can't get past these mollies. Zand is already waiting to make a play, but it's too early. He thinks the res, he's trying to time it. He doesn't even go for it. No bodies at the B site. Is there still an orb or something? I don't know why NIP is actually re-exploring this area right now.
30 seconds left.
It doesn't look like it.
Actually kind of criminal that 10 managed to get out of there and get the spike down without any rotation. Now they're going to scoot to boot and try to get over as fast as they can.
Is he just playing inside of the bottom
Yeah,
of
he
Nest
is.
right there, the little hut that's been added? You know, this could really work out, but the way that they're going right now through the alarm bots that are down at the bottom of the B lane, he is stuck. So if they peek correctly,
Poison's off.
It's going to be a lineup thing. It's going to be a lineup thing. They spotted him one, not able to get the second.
yeah, that was a massive gamble. He's not playing proactively there. He's not hunting at all. Definitely disagree with the way that clutch was played, but he still almost made it work. Forced it down to a 1v1, but I just don't see a way in that BNJ doesn't trade him there.
Yeah. It would just, the timing would have to have been perfect. They almost would have had to have swung at the exact same time.
Yep.
For him to just line up and drop him there. That was the really quintessential one and done spot in a way. And that's what it was.
Yep. Heroics from Shan
One
there.
enemy remaining.
The spray down onto 2. And I like that aggressiveness. You at the beginning of the round when they pushed up towards pipe, when they pushed up top of belt too. So 11-6, Zeta division falls a couple rounds in a row now. So that's a different story than Split. And they've got to figure it out. The A hit, they're just not finding exactly where the players are playing. They're not pushing them off. They're not baiting out utility, especially late in the rounds. And to bring it back to what we were saying actually for NIP as well, it's kind of the same thing that we said on their attack side. You got to kind of explore and pressure multiple angles at the same time instead of just slowly approaching a site.
And that kind of goes back to what you were mentioning earlier, right? If you're not drawing out any utility, the defending team still has everything in their arsenal to deny you. Then there's delays, and then you have flashes to be able to swing out and make plays happen. Like there's still so much there if you do, if you play this super quietly and don't do anything to try to stifle what they're going to do on the retake, you're just out of options.
Yep. One big thing here going for Zeta though is the amount of ultimates they have. And that allows them to actually get off a buy because Laz drops a weapon. And he's going to opt for the tour de force. Depp going to go for the knives too, looking for any potential updraft knife spots, but it's not going to be. Meanwhile, on the other side, there is no ults except for the knives
Teleport ready.
on Shand. This is...
Just waiting for it.
Did he miss the Viper Orb? I think he might have. That's not BMJ's orb, is it? Or is it on top of the... Oh, we'll see. No, his orb is in mid. Okay, that's actually planted from the defensive side.
And it's so tough to see from here if it's like a one-way or...
Yeah, I think that's just straight up on the floor.
Yeah.
Which I think still might be missed, yeah. Yeah, that's missed.
Thank you, Depp. Zeta here, Ball, you were mentioning they've lost the last couple of rounds. Momentum feeling like it's swinging back in NIP's favor, and you wonder, off of the financial situation, if they can get this round, get us to map point, economy in a better spot, much more likely to close this thing out.
They're looking good to do it. I mean, they just got a lot of information. Just the Sage, everybody else hid. 10 got tagged. But now they give up a drone, so that's 2 players at least towards the side. And look at Shan's position; he's really advanced.
They're so stubborn, Balla. They like, come hell or high water, they're gonna go A. They're gonna go to the site that they commit to, and this seems to be the play again. It's the same wall, but BNJ goes unchecked. He's got the ultimate to work with 2 now. 13 seconds left. They've got to get that spike down. Laz trying to use his tour de force as a shotgun. Misses. BNJ does not.
Player standing.
There's Sugar Zero. 5 seconds left. He's got to get the spike down. It's a 1v1.
Shan's coming up belts.
I believe he has a Blade Storm. Does Sugar Zero know where he is? He's been so good for Zeta
I think he's got an
up
op,
until
actually.
this moment. 4 bullets. Hero against Hero. The timing, the spot for Zhand, it was too easy there.
Yeah. Wow. Phantom to close it out, and another round going in the way of NIP. All the clutches so far in this one, which was the difference on split too when ZETA was trying to hold on. So, different situation here, but Zhand closes it out. There was a slight missed wall there too from the Viper of ZETA. John almost took advantage of it.
Standing. One enemy remaining.
And Sugar Zero, classic king in the back of sight there in an enemy's Viper's pit too.
It's actually really impressed by Zhand's patience there.
Sure.
Right? In a post-plant situation, he's got to take the initiative. He's got to go fight and get the defuse. Waits just for a second belt, and it was enough.
And it's funny because that patience was actually what made me think he had an op. But he's been playing on top of white multiple times now. And again, ZETA grouped up, droning him off. But will that be enough with BZN here as well? And John walking down to...
It's almost the same round. It's almost the same approach from ZETA here.
They've got to clear out the back of yellow, though. The dart or something. Yep, there's the dart. Nice wall. He's actually just going to put it out. Cross with it.
The thing is, oh, there's one.
Nice.
And BZN falls.
Really gorgeous molly there to actually put even more pressure, force him to either make a decision to fight or cross. Waiting for the fuel to come back.
The nice thing for ZETA here is they have that alarm bar to make sure there's no flank coming around.
Yeah.
But again, they commit.
There's no flank even coming. I mean, this game is really static. There's the dart from Kyle and Zine as well, though. It spots nobody crossing, but they could have missed the timing, so you can't have them rotate. Here's an aggressive play, though. They're going to wall and dart in the back of Snowman.
Zero playing back there, has the Viper's pit to come through. The Hunter Fury's going to follow shortly after as John tagged up. Kyle and Zine tried to dodge around. Wakro is throwing his way. Depp with 3 already, though, as NIP are left in shambles.
The ace.
A Prime Gaming Flawless coming through for ZETA to get us to map point, to potentially push us to map 3 in this elimination series.
Yeah, and they pushed it to the end of time right there. What was it, 20 seconds when that hit came in? But it's a beautiful set piece that we haven't seen them attempt. Was one that DRX was running against them very often. I mean, we saw it like 3 times. Just the advanced plant, the way that they're up on Snowman. Gorgeous. Also, new IceBox give you the ability to plant in that position. Otherwise, that's fully open and also not planted for anybody else. So, now there's a change here. For ZETA, Zhand is going to updraft late.
The Blade Storm is able to decapitate 1.
That's massive. I mean, they just get the res, and there's the ult to clap back immediately, and that actually might get more damage. No.
That was so close.
Wow. All that hard work completely eliminated. Now Zhand's going to try to actually and make it a 4v5 once again. I mean, we talk about first bloods a lot on this broadcast, and he just got 2.
First blood.
First
and then second
blood.
first blood. Either way, it took a little bit more effort, but numbers advantage in favor of NIP.
They're so slow. Oh, that's a big pick.
They are slow. They are patient.
Now there's no Viper Orb, and it's match point right now. So Zhand is going to make a hero play again.
It's BZN who does it last. Should be able to get the spike down. Remember, Zhand still has those knives to miss. They've got to push forward. Oh, there's so much chaos on backside, man. They're trying to fight off. They're trying to keep John at bay.
3v3.
And look at Zhand from up top. I don't think they know he's there. They don't know he's there. Zhand with 3. It's not going to be 4 because John was there. They tried dealing with him. They weren't able to do so. NIP not done with IceBox quite yet.
No, they want to send him home right now. They want to end this. Qualify for playoff, join their Brazilian brothers in Loud, and they just gave the ult orb over towards Reyna instead of the Sova. Interesting decision.
She must have, but she must. The only way I can reason for that is she must be really close. She must be closer.
Yeah. One orb off or something like that.
see if we can take a look. Here, no, okay. Now, for what it's worth, yeah, I was about to say. Certainly not much closer.
They're going to have to. I mean, look at the ult economy, the way that it's forming right now. Dep's going to get knives. There's a couple also, like Viper's Pit, going to come up for ZETA too. They have to survive that if they want to continue this comeback.
Yeah.
And there's still money available for ZETA. I mean, this comp is just so good at having the staying power to fight over and over. In situations like this where NIP's trying to put them down, you have to hope for the money to be broken eventually. But it's just not happening. And this time there's no heroics, no aggressiveness from Shand, no aggressiveness from John either.
Well, it's interesting you say that too, because it seemed like they tried something A, but a dart spotted the initial aggression, but that was enough to move ZETA off of the group they had A to more of a, I don't want to call it a default, but yeah, perhaps a spread.
Dude, I haven't seen this wall in tube right now. Even in ranked for ages, man. That is prehistoric. And we talked about this on Split. The execute's going to have to start from so far back.
Yeah.
And they're going to pressure John. NIP's made the wrong read, but we've seen them win in specific retake situations like this, and he's even knowing that he has to play in this way.
That's what's so interesting, Ball, is it's not like they wait and then they explode, right? Like they wait and then they drop some utility, and then they wait some more.
That was risky for 10. Actually went for the dual while he had the wall.
And 13 seconds. This is where they get in trouble. They've got to find the openings. They've got to find the space. They've managed to get the spike down. Shan drops, gets picked right back up. As Jean is still playing back sight. He's got that Reyna. 10 playing a tight angle. Gets dropped. 4v4.
Molly's coming in from way far.
They've got plans to this thing. John's got to take the fight to them. He's got to take the fight to them.
2 left.
Oh!
4 bullets left. It all's onto Laz. The tap, he's gonna force him to swing out, and John gets 3. B&J's gonna get the defuse.
Man.
They get to 9.
Their heart must be beating there. Kawanzin with a dry swing to take out a couple players with him there. And they really didn't have much more. That is resilient from NIP. And still, look, there's Vandals being bought on the other side. As we watch the replay of John farming a little bit. I think there was a missed molly too, because they started getting on the half very early.
Yeah. You know, as much as we've talked about the Reyna pick anywhere, really.
Yep. Hey, in these moments, that's when the Reyna starts to roll momentum on John's side. And look, hey, look, he has the ult now, so there you go.
You hear the Bladestorm used at the beginning of the round. See if we can get the scoreboard up for you all to take a quick look at what buys look like.
Yep, just a little tap there, thank you. Vandals purchased, knives left for Depp, and he dropped a weapon. So how hard is it to put this team down right now, especially when they're on map point? It's ridiculous. It is just ridiculous.
They've got Shand with the Operator A, and it seems like Laz might try to challenge that.
Match point, these rotations, these decisions. It feels like every time you make a, for example, the Sage in mid right now, every time you rotate off of Kitchen, you're like, oh, hold on, like what happens if they come right now?
And that's what's really interesting, Ball, is that they haven't the entire half.
Sure.
So for them
they haven't pushed mid, that's true.
Yeah, for them to drop the wall there 2 rounds in a row is just
a little weird when they're going for post plant too.
Yep.
The same aggressive wall.
Hear the Empress use Laz looking to push, looking to fight that Snowman, and he falls. Kawanzin's able to take care of him. You got Sugar Zero with the flank!
Going back up through Kitchen as well. Oh my goodness. 3 versus 3. Shand still replies, and they're starting to get on the spike now, finally.
But it was just a tap, it was just a fake. He's
Now
gonna force Sugar Zero out. It's a 1v3. He's gonna have to be heroic for it again. I think he just spotted a spike.
Oh no!
1, 2, but the defuse is gonna get stuck!
Oh my goodness. Sugar Zero, so close to ending the game right there, but a sliver too slow.
What do you say?
This game just got interesting. This game just got so interesting.
For honestly, the fact that BZN there understanding 2 of his members have died around him.
Yep.
It's like, I've just got to hold it,
Yep.
right? Like, there's no choice.
Man, the crazy part too is if he just ignores Shand updrafting there,
Yeah, and he just like,
and he goes for it. I mean, there's still time to get back on the spike though. At least he stops it. I mean, so many different situations, ways that could have gone. ZETA, that strat looks like a winner to me. And again, they have guns. Again, they have Vandals. There's just no saving here, especially with the loss bonus coming in. And potentially Laz also in the next round getting his tour de force online. NIP have to fight a full strength, and sorry that I keep saying this, but so important.
oh yeah. Viper Spit A. And again, ZETA as a death ball, a group of 5. Wanting to explore B, and there's a judge waiting. I wonder, oh yeah, the drone's gonna get cleared out, so BZM falls, but they don't know the Chant is there.
Yes, they
The
do.
shock
What
dart
is that
pushes
shock?
him off. Oh, now they know. There was questions before and answered.
Dude, they seem like they've learned a lot from that DRX game. That's a shock that DRX was using a lot.
Yep.
All up to John. Shand.
You run double duelist for situations like this. The Viper Spit comes through to provide some cover, and you hear the Tour de Force online. Still a 5v4. It's a 5v3, and 10 might put this thing away himself unless Kawanzine has something to say about it. Thought for a second he's going to spam to get a second. Of course, it's B&J who does. Kawanzine's still back there. My goodness, it looks like he's hitting him every single time.
They're getting to a Viper's Pit here in this clutch to save the map.
They've got to push. They've got to push. The tap, the dart gets destroyed. B&J looking for any sort of target, and he finds one. Not going to find the second. Oh. All of the pressure on his shoulders, but it ended up being a fake.